What is up, and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess. I'm here with my favorite Underdog Fantasy Pick'em plays for Wednesday, Wednesday, January 15th, 2025. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with promo code DailyDog, DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app. Underdog is the best pick'em site out there. There's some other ones. There's one that starts with a P. There's one that starts with a C. There's one that starts with an S. There's one that starts with a B. I've tried them all. I've looked at them all. You're not going to get more from those apps than you get from Underdog. Underdog is by far the one that has the biggest menu, for one. Two, best payouts 90% of the time. And three, the very best promos. Promos happening multiple times a week. I know that I give you the promo code DailyDog at the beginning of the show, but that is just the beginning, because as an active member on Underdog, you get promos, deposit bonuses, everything else all along the way. So shout out to Underdog for being a really awesome and fun app to use, because some of the other ones, it feels like a chore to log in. It feels like, they're just trying to screw you over with the odds. Underdog is very fair. I mean, you can look at sports books and compare some stuff, and maybe they'll beat Underdog here and there. The difference is Underdog has so many built-in player advantages, like the vulture protection in NFL football. So if the designated running back gets vultured inside the 10-yard line by another running back, that lineup does not lose right away. Or also, if somebody gets hurt in the first half and doesn't come back in the second half, then they are voided out of your lineup. If it's a two-leg lineup, a two-pick entry, then you get your money back. If it's multiple, then it just goes down to lesser. So if it was a 3-pick entry, it goes down to a 2-pick entry, et cetera, et cetera. The second half thing is massive. If they miss the second half, just getting a free out that way, the price of that is worth whatever juice you think you might be losing by not using a sportsbook app. It's saved my bacon plenty of times. Hopefully it doesn't have to save my bacon today, though, because I've got lots of entries to give you. Let's start out with NFL entry number one. We gave out this one yesterday. I'm just going to revisit it. It was Jameson Williams higher than 54.5 receiving yards, and Lamar Jackson higher than 50.5 rushing yards. That's now 52.5. I think that thing gets to 55.5, 56.5, to be honest, maybe even pushing 60, just based on some past playoff performances and short memory from last week. Still a 3x multiplier, but you got 2 more yards with Lamar Jackson. I still think it's playable up until about like 55.5. I think you can bank on 56.5 or more, or 56 or more rushing yards in this game. So yeah, I'm going to be going with Lamar Jackson still at this number, but 50.5 is great to already have in the account. And Jameson Williams for the Lions, still higher than 54.5 receiving yards. Still think he's going to have big plays against this defense for the Commanders. All right, new NFL entry. Josh Allen, higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns. He did score a rushing touchdown last week. This game's going to be a little bit more intense, a lot higher stakes. It's an MVP battle. Who's going to win the MVP? Who's going to make a bigger impact for their team? Josh Allen is going to be running in this game. He's going to be the goal line threat that we know he can and will be. Give me Josh Allen higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns, and then I'm going to pair that with a chief wide receiver. I mean, in past years, you'd be like, oh yeah, I know who that is. Well, they've got so many receiving options at this point. It's kind of crazy. Give me Josh Allen higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns. Pairing that one with DeAndre Hopkins higher than 28.5 receiving yards. Playoff DeAndre is back. I know that Hollywood Brown is there. I know that they have Travis Kelce still. I know that Hollywood Brown is back as well. I know that Xavier Worthy is there. There's all these guys. DeAndre Hopkins, big play, third down machine. Get 4 receptions and 45 yards for me right here, DeAndre. We just need the 28.5 receiving yards. That's such a low number for a guy who's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. So this is a 3.12x entry. That's the multiplier, 3.12x, with Josh Allen higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns and DeAndre Hopkins higher than 28.5 receiving yards. All right, let's get to something for today. Let's go to the NBA lineup number one. We're going to go with Jalen Brunson higher than 8.5 assists. That's alternate over 7.5 is also available if you want to play it a little safer. I think that he's going to get 8.5 assists in this game against the 76ers. My God, Philadelphia 76ers. 76ers walking wounded. Nick's a little banged up too, but I think they're going to be pretty healthy for this game. Sixers on a back-to-back. Good spot for Jalen Brunson to put on another show. Obviously, he can take over scoring, but really, he loves to be a helper on this team. He loves to get the ball to his teammates' hands for them to throw it down, like Karl-Anthony Towns. Give me higher than 8.5 assists for Jalen Brunson. Pairing that with our guy, Paolo Banchero, higher than 24.5 points in this game. Banchero has been solid since returning back to the lineup for this Orlando Magic squad. They're going to the Bucks. The Bucks are playing in a back-to-back. Banchero's averaging 28.4 points per game, if you were wondering. Since he's been back, he has had a 34-point game and a 20-point game. Obviously, we want it to be like the first game back where he had 34 points. So yeah, let's go with Paolo Banchero, higher than 24.5 points in this game versus a Bucks team playing in a back-to-back scenario. Good spot for this underrated Magic team and their team leader, Paolo Banchero, to make a splash. All right, we are going to continue with NBA. We're going to NBA entry number 2, Chris Paul, higher than 9.5 points. Don't look now, but he's had double-digit points at 3 consecutive games. This number's still 9.5. Getting a little bit more comfortable scoring. Home game for the Spurs here as they host the Grizzlies. Obviously, the Grizzlies have some guards that want to get after and score some points. I think Chris Paul is going to want to get in that mix as well, score some points. High total game, 238.5 is the total in this game. Chris Paul on a little bit of a point heater, at least by his current standards. I think he was like 18, and 12 points in his last 3 games. So go Chris Paul, 9.5. We only need 10 for you right here. Good spot for you to do it. Pairing that with Anthony Edwards, higher than 3.5 3-pointers made. I use this entry all the time. I use this on slips all the time because it hits all the time. Anthony Edwards shoots a ton of 3-pointers, and we're still getting an extra multiplier here. Steph Curry coming in town. Come on, he's going to show off his 3-ball. It's pretty obvious. Anthony Edwards, just the last couple of games, his last game he had 5 3-pointers. Previous game 0 for 5. But the game before that 4 for 11. The game before that 7 for 11. Game before that 6 of 13. Game before that 10 of 12. All right, so that's his last 6 games. He's gone higher than 3.5 in 5 of his last 6 games. And now the Warriors are coming to town. Last time he played the Warriors, he was 4 for 11 from 3. Before that, he's gone it over this 3 times already against the Warriors. So yeah, I like this one more time with Anthony Edwards, and we're getting an enhanced multiplier with it as well. Can't beat that value. So Chris Paul higher than 9.5 points. Anthony Edwards higher than 3.5 3-pointers made. You are going to get a boost on that one, and I don't know why I lost my slip. I need to pull it back up. So bear with me for 1 second. Where is that? I've got a lot in here. And you're getting a 3.12x multiplier on him. So it's 3.39x multiplier with Chris Paul higher than 9.5 points and Anthony Edwards higher than 3.5 3-pointers made. Yeah, I like that. Get a little extra boost for 2 things that I think are very likely to happen. All right, NHL entry number 1, Martin Necas of the Carolina Panthers, higher than 0.5 assists. Leon Draisaitl, higher than 0.5 goals. Yeah, there's only 2 games going on tonight, so we're going to be using these ones quite a lot, or some star players from these teams. Necas obviously is the top point man for this Carolina Hurricanes team. And then Leon Draisaitl, higher than 0.5 goals. Didn't get a goal last game. That was his buddy McDavid. Now it's Draisaitl's turn, and this is a 3.86x multiplier. NHL number 2, we're going Sebastian Aho, higher than 0.5 assists. And then we're going to go Marco Rossi, higher than 0.5 assists for the Minnesota Wild. So 2 guys that get a lot of points, get a lot of assists, a lot of helpers, et cetera, et cetera. 3.75x multiplier. Marco Rossi's number is kind of insane because he's one of the top assist mans on this Wild team. Obviously, Kirill Kaprizov probably not returning today. If he does, okay, good, but probably not. So 3.75x multiplier for this. Beautiful value. All right, tennis number 1. We still got some Aussie Open slips to get into. We're going to go Francis Tiafoe, higher than 1.5 sets loss against Fabian Marozsan. You probably don't know who Fabian Marozsan is, but he is a dang good Hungarian player in his early 20s, 24, 25 years old. My man, Francis Tiafoe, love the guy, but he is a little bit banged up at the moment. Never a good sign to be banged up in a 5-set match. So give me higher than 1.5 sets lost for Francis Tiafoe. I think that they're going 5 here at least, or Marozsan's going to win outright. So have to go against my American man here and go with higher than 1.5 sets lost for Francis Tiafoe. Then we're going Daria Kazatkina, higher than 20.5 or higher than 20.0 games played, even better. Daria Kazatkina loves to grind it out, goes 3 sets all the time. She's going against Yifan Wang. Yifan Wang's going to put a ton of balls in play. There's going to be 30 plus hit rallies in this match, probably 3 to 10 times. There's going to be a lot of long points, and it's going to be a long match. Daria Kazatkina higher than 20.5 or 20.0 games played, 3x multiplier. All right, tennis number 2. We're going Ons Jabeur, higher than 21.5 points or 21.5 games played. Ons is another grinder who likes to go long. Jones, Camilo Osorio, another one who's not overwhelming you with power. That means these people are going to be deep into they're going to be break and serve left and right. it's going to be a similar situation to the games or the sets going long. It's going to be similar to if they were good servers, because they're not good servers. They're going to be breaking each other left and right. So give me higher than 21.5 for that matchup between the very underrated Camila Osorio against Ons Jabeur, and it's listed as Ons Jabeur higher than 21.5 games played. Next one, Iga Swiatek higher than 17.0 games played against Shramkova. Shramkova, super underrated player. She's a competitor. Rebecca Shramkova likes to drag things out. I'm feeling that they're going to be in at least one tiebreak scenario in this match. I don't think Shramkova is going to get broken, but I don't think she's not going to break Iga. So that's why I think that we're going to get higher than 17 games played. Just a comically no number. This is a 3x multiplier. All right, that's all I got for you today. Let's make some money.